So our second destination was to Pune. The place we were staying at there was a place called Osho's International Meditation Resort. This place is a polar opposite. The ashram was very basic and simple and just, not fancy at all. Osho's was so fancy and just luxurious.
It's a really, really luxurious resort kind of place. King size bed, got bathroom. This is nice.
The landscaping of all the plants and stuff alone probably costed more than the entire ashram. So if that will put it into perspective for you. The meditations there were a lot more structured too. And in general, the whole trip was. In Tiruvannamalai, we walked the streets, we did everything just however we wanted, whenever we wanted. At Osho's, if you weren't participating the way they intended for you to participate, it made it very hard for you to exist on the property. So being a film editor, they did not allow that at all, which I understand for people's privacy. The thing is that getting involved with the meditations and then also trying to be a video editor when there's no Wi-Fi on the premises, and just really trying to figure out how to exist in a space that doesn't want you to exist there. Or not necessarily me, that doesn't want your hobby to exist there. It was really cool. And just for example, you had to wear these red robes.
Wearing customary robes, as you can see.
And you couldn't participate in a meditation without them. You couldn't go get breakfast without wearing your robes most of the time. And you also could not walk inside the actual resort area. You could live in the accommodation area without your robes, but you couldn't go in the other area. And at a certain time of day, you had to switch to white robes. And if you didn't have your white robes going out, you couldn't come back in until a certain time if you didn't have those on. So it was pretty strict place. I understand why though. They're really trying to push your comfort zone and make you feel not as individual. So you get in these robes, you're told you have to be a certain way, and it makes you uncomfortable, and it starts bringing up a lot of things within you. And a lot of the meditations do that too. You try to bring up these feelings, and as you're bringing them up and being wild and crazy, you are also being completely aware that you're doing them. And in that process, you notice, oh, I'm still living with this thing in my life, or oh, I'm still hiding out in this part of my life. So it was a really cool place to experience. I have to say, I would definitely go back to Osho's International Resort. Before, I was very conflicted because Mr. Cameraman couldn't do his thing there. After a while, it just sank in, and it was an amazing experience. I met so many people, so many cool people. There's even this night where they had a modern EDM dancing kind of night, and everyone just went rave crazy, completely sober and just having a great time. And when I got there, everybody, they're dancing, they're having a good time. It was right at the beginning, they're getting used to everybody. And then I just go in full swing, dancing my crazy head off. And here's the thing about my dancing, right? It's I don't dance because I'm good at it. I dance because I'm comfortable with how I dance and having a good time in that. So I'm just having a great time. And then, everybody starts coming up and dance with me, and I try to, do some moves with them, and just having a great time and interacting with everybody was so much fun. And the best part I would say about that was the next day when everyone recognized who I was the whole time now is oh, that guy. They would all just smile. Because before, when you go into Osho's, it's like, people are like very to themselves. You're there to be like kind of like vulnerable and stuff. So people at first are very like, they don't want to share themselves with you necessarily. Some do, but not all. Some people come very closed. And after dancing with everybody, nobody held back letting me see them after getting to dance with them for a night. And I think I found like a special power or something within that. And that's really cool. As far as for the rest of Pune, the city is really beautiful. There's plenty of things to do, food to eat, lots of shops to go to. So Pune is a lot more modern than Tiruvannamalai, just as densely packed, but there's stuff like Nike and Puma and etc. all over the place, and it's a really cool place to go. And here's where the polar opposite happens. Being the camera guy in a place like Pune, main shopping area, like holding this amazing camera and then also this like giant gimbal, like everybody wanted their picture taken. Everybody wanted to come up and talk to us and smile and ask what we're doing and like what we're experiencing in India and how we're liking it so far. So that was a really cool part about like being a cameraman in India, because a lot of places so far have been very like, no filming here. That's not allowed. In a lot of rural places, there's an old tradition that it makes you, it takes away some of your age the more it captures you inside. So I hope I got that right. We even dropped some money on the ground, just like after a taxi cab or something. And a local kid like picked it up, found us, gave it back to us, and it was a sizable amount of money. So just seeing like that money wasn't such a big deal. Like it was cool to see that in a foreign country when they didn't have to. So as far as also being a cameraman, like at this point I have a week's worth of video to edit and upload, so I'm having to find Wi-Fi. However, I did end up finding a Starbucks, and that was a lifesaver for uploading, and then for just getting away and editing and getting a little more better tasting food, because Osho's food was horrible.
There's a nice little organic cafe just like 100 meters away, so just decided to go check that out.
I found a place called Sante's, and that place is so good. I would pick that whole restaurant up and move it to wherever it is that I'm going to land in this world. Delicious, delicious place. There's like a chocolate smoothie bowl that was so good. I had these quinoa pancakes that were amazing. This is the first time I also found coffee was Sante's. Really fun ordering an Americano in India. I'm American, I would like an Americano. Yeah, so all in all, a lot of fun. And that pretty much explains my Pune trip.